Hey guys, Footy Manager TV here, and welcome to episode number 61 and the start of the 6th season in my lower league management playthrough in Football Manager 2016 with FC United. And my history, this is something I haven't shown before, but it gives you a good indication on how we've gone so far in this save at the start of the 6th season. So we played through 5 seasons, start of the 6th now. And you can see it took us 3 seasons to get that initial promotion. Obviously, FC United start as a newly promoted team, so you can't forget that as well to consider where we are right now. What happened last season? We finished 7th. We made it to the playoffs, but unfortunately we lost on penalties. Again, could have went either way. Who knows? Maybe I could have been in League One. That would have been huge. So, yeah, a bit unlucky to lose on penalties, but definitely put that past me right now. Moving on to bigger and better things for this season, as you will see. But you definitely could tell the difference between Vanarama Conference and Sky Bet League 2 compared to Vanarama Conference North, and I guess South as well if you manage in that division, and then Vanarama Conference. It's still conference level. There's not too much of a difference. And I'm speaking like it was a tough season results-wise, which it wasn't. It was a very good season, as we did finish 7th. Like, we got into the playoffs, so it was a massive achievement. But a lot of games, as you would have seen, I was fighting for results. I wasn't dominating games too clearly. So I knew this season we'll have to improve the quality if we wanted to get promoted. And that's something I wanted to talk about as well. If we just go back to the inbox, in the inbox right here, see the competition expectations. The minimum expectation, even though we finished 7th last season, is that the team fight bravely against relegation. So that's the expectations from the board, even the media as well. It went up by 1 position. Expectations is to finish 23rd from the media. So expect still to get relegated, but I finished 7th last season. And I just want to talk about, after that episode, I noticed in the comments, a lot of people was saying it was a failure. It was a failure to finish 7th after getting 2 consecutive promotions in a row. I found that mind-boggling. It wasn't just a couple people, as you might expect when you lose a playoff or something like that. But no, it was more people than I thought. But honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to that. I just found it really surprising because it's far from a failure. I'll have to say that. We're just going upwards. We're upwards, and I'm continuing to hopefully show that now. I got a new contract. Got a couple more seasons on the contract, so that's good. Also, we got Johnston's paint trophy, so I might as well just draw that right now. 16 teams left, and I'd love to go on a good cup run now. I'll go through my transfers and everything, but I really do feel I have the squad to do so right now. Finally, I might say that every few seasons because the squad keeps improving, but yeah, we'll obviously more chance in FA Cup, Capital One Cups now, not to obviously win it, but to kind of compete a bit more, go further, and we're at home against Bradford, but they are in League One as well, so it's by any means, it's not going to be an easy game. So we draw them, so we're going to go home right now. And the first thing you may notice, it may be something you look to, but the overall balance, it's over 2 million, and we were struggling in the red last season. It's not because we got money for settling in this division. You're going to see, I sold someone. It's who would you have sold for over 2 million? Yeah, you're probably just going in your head thinking about all the lists. Simon Thompson, the amazing youth talents we have that has Premier League potential. Did I sell him already? And who's going to be the replacement? You're going to see that very, very soon, if that was the case or not. You can see our friendlies. Again, I won't click on it because you may see some players that scored or that didn't score, or new players that signed, so we'll go through that. But yeah, it was a bit of a mixed preseason, but a massive result for us was able to get Man City and Arsenal as friendlies, and they were televised as well, so we got some good money. Obviously, Arsenal as affiliate club, but Man City, we also agreed that friendly. I got my assistant to do some friendlies, but then I did some myself because he only did about 3, and then I did the rest. And also Chelsea under 21s as well. I'm not sure. It's Chelsea, but it's not their under 21s. I'm not sure how much that affected. But we shall get into the transfers right now. I made a loan offer for this Ramatanis. I think that's his name. Unfortunately, he didn't decide to join us. A bit disappointing, but not depleting. As you'll see, we have made lots of transfers, and you can see the one I mentioned 2.5, but we'll get into that very shortly. And another one, Jamal Fifield. That was another one on that point. Talking about the last video, a lot of you guys reacted really badly to me telling you I was going to let him go. But the thing is, I think some people forgot that I promised to him I was going to let him go. He didn't want to be at the club anymore. So that could have been another reason he didn't step up when we needed him. And he was a fault to one of the goals we conceded. But again, that's the past. I don't want to talk about that. And yeah, like I said, so many people reacted badly to that in the same way, like saying I failed. But for Jamal Fifield saying I shouldn't have let him go because he missed a penalty, that wasn't it. Sure, in the heat of the moment, I got really frustrated he missed a penalty, but I already promised him I was going to sell him at the end of the season, and he wanted that. That's what he wanted. So, yeah, you got to keep track of everything that happens, not just everything in the moment. But, yeah, and other players. I let go of other players as well, not because they did badly in the last game or whatever, on the playoff game. But, yeah, in the heat of the moment, I definitely was disappointed in Fifield, because obviously then he was a still contracted player, but even before then, I was planning to let him go at the end of the season. So hope you guys will understand that next time. And other ones we let go of, Lee Collins. Again, a lot of these players I let go of. Basically, I wanted to get better quality in. Again, Mika Evans didn't really play last season, the winger. George Maris in the same boat, didn't really play. He was the third striker we had, and yeah, couldn't really get a regular look in. Roger Wood, he was a youth player we got a few years ago. Unfortunately, he just had good passing and good flair. Apart from that, not too much about his game other than that. Alfie Potter, I thought he was a good signing when we did sign him, and he did make a reasonable impact. He played 62 games for us and scored 11 goals. Not too bad from a winger. But yeah, he was starting to go down in some attributes at 31 years of age, so we did let him go. And then also Sam Minahan. We had him on a non-contract, or his contract ran out. And the problem is that when I went to offer him a contract, it was like the agent wanted some non-negotiable fees and everything like that. And Sam Minahan, again, I think maybe you guys might not be too happy I let him go, but they offered him a contract, and you just got to see who I replace him with. Once you see our starting right back now, who is much better than him, I'm not sure you think much better or whatever, and every season he dominated, maybe apart from the first season. And the crazy how the best season he had was in League 2. But you can kind of see what team went for him. Braintree in the conference, so a league below. And I want to be fighting to be a league above, so it's a big separation. And credit to Sam Minahan. He played his heart out for the team. I'm not doubting that at all. He was absolutely amazing. But we have to progress, and he is not going to be with us like in League 1. He's not going to be that quality. I've got to prepare ourselves to be a League 1 quality team, maybe another 2 consecutive promotions in a row. That's how we're building the squad this season. And then even Billy Simpson, but again, he didn't get much of a look in as well last season. 14 appearances, 9 starts only in the league. He did well, admittedly, but the same point again, he drops down to Vanarama Conference. He's a conference level player, but I would like to think I got the best out of these kind of players, and now that's allowed us to. This is what I mean. If you go to the first episode of the series, and just see the players we had, and look at the players I've brought in now, and I guess that were already in the squad. But yeah, these players we have, and I'll show you them obviously. And just compare them, like they're much better players, and obviously the division we are in is much better, of course. So that's what I mean. When you think about saying you're failing or you failed, think about where we've actually come before that. But yes, the big news going out was Fulton. He moved to Celtic. Of course, he's a Scottish player, so that could be a realistic move for him. But you can see that. Yeah, they did sign him for big money. 2.5 million was more than I expected. At the time, he was only valued like 10k or something. I can't remember. He only played 5. It's weird because if it was Thompson, I would have thought about it more. But he had high potential like Thompson, but it never said what league. It never said Premier League or anything. Even our scout report now of him, it never said. It just could improve a lot in the future. So, yeah, that was interesting. But obviously, he does have that high potential. And also, it's not just that. It was a great deal. It was 2.5 million up front, which puts us in a great position. Because last season, we were looking in the red. Maybe that's another reason people are a bit, unsure about how I'm going if we're in the red. That doubt is straight away out of your head. Has to be right now. We're nowhere near the red. And we've got 50% of his next transfer fee. So if he turns out to be a superstar and makes a big move, like to a top 4 Premier League team for, I don't know, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, I'm not sure if he'll be that good of a player, but we're going to get half of that. So who knows? We can make even better money as the years go by. So yeah, that could be really important for us. So that's on the outs. In a way, we're not going to really worry about them. Maybe apart from Fulton, we'll keep our eye on him in the coming seasons. But the players coming in is going to prepare us for a top 3 finish and a promotion season, automatic promotion. I'm really happy. The first lad I brought in is Alan Frowen. We signed him from Manchester United. He is a regen. He's newly turned 18. He's improving in his pace. That's what we need. He's a bit on the slower side, but he's not terribly slow. He's got 16 tackling already, and then another one with that very high potential. We don't know if it's like Premier League or I think it was Championship when I scouted him. Can't remember 100%. But either way, he's our second best centre-back, or at least equal with Mark Ellis now, experience. So that's crazy. He's as good as a experienced centre-back, and he's even better than David Stevens, who was consistent last season. So I'm really excited about this guy. We got him on a contract for a couple seasons, so that is exciting as well. And we got a trigger contract extension clause for 3 years like I had with Thompson. So if he does continue to develop, he'll be amazing, honestly. Look at that. 16 tackling, and the rest of his defensive attributes don't let him down. Sometimes you see one with one really high attribute, like a 15 or a 16, and the rest aren't good, that are relevant, but they are. Maybe a couple of mentals, but mental attributes increase as you get older. So I'm really excited about this Welsh lad. Like I said, only recently turned 18. So much to like about him. And another region as well, Dan Foster Goalkeeper, 19 years old, Welsh as well, getting a few of those guys in. He's played 16 times for the under-21s, which is really impressive considering he's only 19. He's got some amazing attributes, like really beefed up attributes for a 19-year-old. Like, he seems like an experienced player with those attributes. So you can see, again, his report, but it doesn't quite say what league he'll be good enough for in terms of potential, but he's already good enough for League 2, division we're in, of course. So that's amazing. He's better than other goalkeepers. And what attracted me most, obviously a player can look good or whatever, he performed really well in his first 2 seasons for Bangor City in the Welsh Premier, so doing well there, or he did well there. That first season was ridiculous. He would have been like 17, wouldn't he? So he's going to come right in, and he doesn't look too bad, does he? He doesn't look too bad. So another region with potential. Who knows how... We have a few... we have a batch of youngsters that could take us to the Premier League. Of course, if we don't sell them. But either way, we could use that money wisely. And you might think, why didn't we buy more players or something? Like, I don't know what to do with the money. And if you look at it here, Fulton was basically one of the last dealings we made. Apart from Janae Gordon, we sold, and I think Jack Stanley on loan, he was sold after we made all our signings at Tafari Moore. So keep that in mind as well. I made all the signings, then he got sold. So we had a big squad. We had the squad for the season already. So with that money anyway, we have over 2 million in our balance. What do you think we should do with it? Should we improve training facilities once more? Or should we just save it and see how we're looking at the end of the season? How much money we're going to lose during the season? Because we did last season, of course. So maybe that could be on your mind. Next up, our first real player we signed was Graham Burke. He's an established player, not a guy with potential or anything like that. Just a good first-team player. He's natural in 3 positions. Well, 2 positions in the formation, but left midfield. Sometimes I drop the left winger to left midfielder. So that will be the occasion sometimes with Graham Burke. Obviously, he's not amazing defensively or something. Just he's natural in that position as well. If we wanted to play slightly more defensive, he can do that. But he can also play as a striker. But he's got a lot of supporting attributes. It's not like he's an amazing finisher or something. It's only 10 finishing. But he's more of a creator. So definitely out wide on the left will be his position. And of course, we'll go through his history. You can see he comes from Notts. He's been playing in League 2 for the duration of this save. And I'm surprised. I thought he would have a bit better ratings, but he had one very good season, 8 goals and 10 assists. I thought you'd probably at least get a 7 overall, like average rating. But not even last season as well. He did not play as much, only 21 times. It's interesting he didn't come off the bench at all. He started, maybe he had some injuries, so keep that in mind. But his attributes, he could be, judging off his attributes, he's like one of our better players we've ever had. Like how high the attributes are. He's got 16 natural fitness. What I find funny, he's got runs with ball down the right, off the left of course as well, but he can't play on the right at all. So I found that a bit weird. And shoots from distance, hugs line. I think he can be an absolutely fantastic player for us. Maybe good enough for League One as well. And next up, Mickey Demetriou. He's a bit of an interesting one because he is a left back, as you can see clearly, but his preferred foot is right. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or it actually is. Like, his left foot is weak. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. But what we are doing, we're attempting to develop his weaker foot in training. So hopefully his left foot becomes a bit better. He says he's only beginning to get to grips with his preferred move training. I hope it goes well, honestly. But regardless of that, I don't think it's too much against him, we'll say. Like, last season for Shrewsbury in League 2, he had a 7.29 rating, and he helped them get promoted in one season as well, so keep that in mind. He helped them getting their promotion from League 2, but then, of course, relegated in the next season, but still helped them get promoted, and that's what we're kind of looking. That's something I saw in him. He got Shrewsbury promoted. So, and Shrewsbury are actually in League 1 this season now as well, after being in League 2 last season, but he didn't play for them. I'm not sure what happened to him. He didn't play at all in that season. So that could be on your mind as well. Like, did he miss? Where's his injuries? It didn't say he has any injuries at all. So that's a good thing as well. Doesn't get injured. Well, I would laugh if he gets injured for us. He probably will. But yeah, I don't think only being right-footed and he's playing on the left side will be a big issue. I don't feel it's a big issue for a fullback in Football Manager in my experience anyway, and that's backed up by his ratings in the previous seasons. And Niall Mason. He's a centre-back. He looks like a very likely type for me. He's 23 years old and he's our best-rated centre-back now. He looks really balanced. What I like about him, he's got this preferred move. He's got marks opponents tightly, but he's got 14 strength and 13 jumping reach, determination 15, 14, and then he's got those 11s for the key defending attributes, and of course a bit of potential to grow into as well. If you go to his history, he played for Cambridge previously, but again, he's another one that didn't. I'm not sure what happens there. Is that just an error? Maybe I'm starting to think it may be because a couple of players now didn't play, or maybe he did just sit in the reserves under 21s because they did step up a division, and even in League 2 he wasn't playing so much. But the first season, something that you got to be impressed with, slightly over average 7 rating. That's pretty good in his first season. He would have been younger, obviously. Yeah, don't forget, this is our 6th season we are starting. So, yeah, a lot of upside to Niall Mason. We'll just check out his coach report as well. But, yeah, I'm not showing all of them because they don't say their potential just yet. I'll show you that a bit later. But, yeah, signing a guy like that to be our best centre-back in the team is pretty decent. Back to the regions now. We have Lewis Foreman. He looks to have some pretty good attributes, doesn't he, as well? And he's 21 years old now, so he's been in the system for a while. He was one of the earlier regions in the game at Tottenham, and he never had a loan spell at all. So initially, I don't like signing those kind of players. I like to see if they've played before out on loan or something for a younger guy. But he was our best defensive midfielder. Saw the Scout report, he'll be better than Craig Eastman. And if you go to central midfielder, he's our second best central midfielder. Amazing. And that's his current ability. Taking out his potential, he's got potential to develop into a decent player. Obviously, coming from a Premier League team, obviously that's not guaranteed you have high potential. But I mean, if he's like League 2 first team quality without playing a professional game in his life in the league, yeah, that tells you something, surely. And he's got really, really high strength, 16, so he's going to be strong, and 14 tackle, just those two together, just being really strong and a good tackler, and good work rate, pretty solid teamwork as well. I do like the look of him early days. Next up, we signed a winger in the name of Viv Solomon Otterball. I like this guy's name a lot, but also a really pacey player. He's the fastest guy we've ever had for FC United. He's got 15 pace and 16 acceleration. Obviously, you look at his mentals and technicals. They're not amazing, but they're not terrible. If you look at technique, passing, first touch, dribbling and crossing, they're fairly acceptable, being like 10s and 11s and a couple 9s in there as well. And mentals, the lowest one is 7 for a positioning, but I don't think that's too relevant for a winger. And there's a lot of like 9s and 10s is 13 for determination. So yeah, he's actually going to do all right. He's got a lot of potential to grow into, but he's only 24. Well, he is 24 years old, so I don't think he's going to actually improve so much more. He's a decent player for League 2 sides, but to me, he's going to be that impact player. Obviously, I want to try and start him and see how he goes, but you look at last season, he got 8 assists. Not too bad. I can see him being impact off the bench also with that blistering pace, especially for League 2. Very pacey player he is. Tafari more. So again, I'm just like anticipating. Some people won't be happy that I let Sam Minahan go, but you just got to see the contrast. Look at the current ability as well. Current ability, 4-star. He actually has 4.5-star potential ability, so a bit to grow into. Sam Minahan, 2-star ability. So that's the initial thing. But then again, judge on the attributes. I really like his preferred moves. He runs with the ball down the right, but then he also stays back at all times. So I reckon he's going to be really good going forward and really good coming back on defense as well. If it was FIFA, he would have high work rates. So just, kind of translate that. I'm pretty sure that would be the same. And he's the 2 defensive attributes for a fullback that are relevant. Marking and tackling are both 13. He's a fairly quick player as well. We've got 13 pace, 14 acceleration. Looks really balanced. And look at this as well. He's actually 3 years younger than Minahan. So he's so much better than him, but he's 3 years younger. And he can play at left back if needed as well. And he's right-footed. He's weak on his left. So we probably wouldn't play him there unless we desperately need him to. But yeah, sometimes you might need those desperate situations. And probably most impressively, he played for Ipswich in the last season. But again, for whatever reason, the previous season not showing the stats. Again, maybe it might actually be a glitch. But the 3 seasons before that, he was playing. He wasn't a regular starter, so I'm not going to be blinded by that, of course. But he was still part of the first team squad, no doubt. He was. 16 appearances in the first season. I know 14 were off the bench in the league, but still, he was in the first. If you go to squad, he would have been there. So now it's a few leagues below that, a couple leagues below that. He should dominate, and he's coming from Arsenal. I always did Arsenal saves in the past, like privately. I talked about that sometimes before I made YouTube videos back in the day, and I always I saw him at Arsenal, but he never was good enough. But I like the look of him. Like, he was an attacking fullback, but yeah, he just never was Premier League quality, top 4 quality at least. So yeah, first time I get to manage him properly anyway, being a first team player. Also, Jack Stanley on loan from Wolves, who has 18 passing. That's pretty much a world-class attribute. Of course, you got to count all his attributes together. Like, if all of his other attributes were 1, even though that's probably impossible, everything else 1 and passing 18, that would be a bit weird to see and would never be the case, I would think anyway. But surely he has to be so good at passing with 18 passing. And look, 13 technique's not terrible. 10 vision's nothing to brag about. But yeah, it's not terrible. First touch, he could be someone impressive. Like, he could change games with that passing. Of course, we don't play attacking midfielder, we play centre midfielder. So yeah, I'll just put him advanced playmaker in centre mid and work on his dribbling as well. That's another attribute. If you could improve that, yeah, he'd look pretty good. And he's not bad physically as well. Good strength and yeah, good pace. Lowest physical attribute is 9 with his balance. So I really like him. That passing is what you see from like Barcelona players and like top 4 Premier League, top 4 just other top European leagues, and there isn't too many of them. That's like the very, very best central midfielders in the world. Of course, we've got better surrounding attributes, like I said, but he's still got 18 passing. You can't take that away from him. And the final signing we made, and this was actually after we had the money. If we didn't end up selling Fulton, we wouldn't have sold him. Janae Gordon, he's got pretty good potential still in him, and another pacey guy, 16 pace. He's on pretty much on par with that other guy, but not as high acceleration. But still, for a striker, makes it very dangerous, especially as he likes to beat the offside trap if he does get on. No one will catch up to him. No defenders will catch up to him, and it'll be one-on-one with the keeper. Attributes are pretty solid, especially for a guy that can improve. But again, he's 24, so not sure how much he can improve. And again, he's only had one loan spell, and that was last season, and it's not really a true indication because he only started the one game in the league. The rest were off the bench, and he managed to score one goal from that game time. So think about the game time as a whole. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, him able to score a goal in the limited time he was given. He was trying to they were using him as a sub. So, yeah, I think he can have a solid season. He's rated as a good League 2 player, and with that pace, 13 dribbling as well, he's a pretty good passer. Actually, he's going to go well to be a target man. Obviously, I know he's not really tall, but yeah, him and Simon Thompson, they're target men. That's their best role, kind of. I know there's defensive forward, but yeah, I usually use a target man, or then I go advanced forward or poacher, but he's not amazing. They're okay, but yeah, target man's better. So those are the transfers I made. And once more, like every season, I'm really happy with my transfers, but this time I'm really convinced with what I've done here. And it's not because I got big money. Understand that. We've still got the money. I haven't spent that at all. Not at all. So if we go to home for a second, you can see still overall balance, it's 2.7 million. We still got 12.5 available wage budget. But yeah, I thought to myself, like, I haven't used all that because I got that money after we made all our signings, pretty much, apart from the last player I showed you. So also, we have got a game against Carlisle today, which we shall get straight into. So guys, here we go again, start of the League 2 season, and with all those transfers, I'm pretty confident. I think we can go for a promotion this season. First game there, Tranmere, Wickham, they came a 1-1 draw. So this is what I want to see different from last season. I want to see more dominating performances, like 3-0, 4-0 wins, or 4-1, like 3-1, that kind of stuff, 5-1, 5-2, just really dominating performances. And with my transfers, I really think I should be able to do that now. Now, this is where no excuses, like I'm putting that pressure on me right now. Maybe we'll see a bit into the season if it's too much pressure. It's not really pressure. I just want to get promoted this season. I think we have the quality to. And if you look at the suitabilities and maybe the role abilities as well, I do think we have the squad to. Of course, we do still have Simon Thompson, our superstar. Again, go to his report. His potential has gone down to championship striker in the future, but please understand his potential hasn't decreased. It's just the coach's report on him. Potential doesn't go down in Football Manager, just so you guys know. Every player has a certain rating for their potential that never changes. The current ability, obviously, there's current ability and potential ability in Football Manager, but yeah, the potential ability never changes. But again, the likelihood of him reaching potential, of course, that does, which the coach may take into consideration. And of course, usually I do this off camera, like set up like the corner takers and everything, but I kind of forgot to do that, so I'm going to do it now, pretty much. We just had to remove some players and everything like that. So first up, we're going to do the corner takers. Unfortunately, with all my signings, we didn't really get an amazing corner taker. So we'll just add Kieran Richardson, and then we've got, who's next? There's a few on 9. I think we'll add Otobor, or Otobor, however you say his name, Solomon Otobor. Tom Pearson, he's the backup for right back now, don't forget. And Tom Pearson, you might think he's not a right back proper, but he's still got League 1 potential, leading League 1 potential, keep in mind, and we're kind of moulding him into that. But saying that, he did have an average rating of 7 last season, and he was impressive in some games I did play him. So add Harness as well. Any other player? Niall Mason. No, mate, he's the centre back. He's the centre back, and he's fairly decent for corners. We'll add Jack Stanley, the guy with 18 passing. He should be all right. Obviously, passing is different to corners, but it's still his technical ability is improved because of that. Free kick takers, we've got Kieran Richardson still. We still got 13 free kick taking, which is fairly impressive. We've got Graham Burke, who we could add to that as well. Him and Madison, but Burke new signing. O'Driscoll is there. Sorry about that. O'Driscoll, he's not an amazing free kick taker. It's 9, so I can see why he was up there before. But Burke there. Madison will be the third option from the free kick. Then Gordon, the striker, pretty decent free kick taker, 11. He might be okay. Then Mickey Demetriou, who's right-footed. I know it's weird for a left-back to be right-footed and weak on his left. I don't know if that's an error or if it's actually like that in real life. Please tell me if you know. I don't know because he's in League 2, isn't he? If we go to Mickey Demetriou for Shrewsbury. So, yeah, I just so you guys understand that. But we'll go back. And yeah, I think that should be enough for the free kicks. And then for the throw-ins, I just want to put, again, Demetriou on the left side, Tafari Moore on the right side, Richardson on the left, and then also Tom Pearson. You don't need too many there because, again, just the fullbacks for their respective sides. And then we'll go to the captains. We still have to do the penalties, of course. Okay, penalty. This is a big one, isn't it? Penalties. But we've got better penalty takers in for this season as well. And that's what I said. I think I replied to a comment with someone where they said, one of my reasonings behind how I kind of talked about it in the video and everything like that, we're not going to lose our next penalty shootout. I'm convinced with that. I think the experienced maybe we won't have the same players, a lot of the same players who will take part, but yeah, just the kind of thing I instill into the club now, where that's not acceptable, losing in another penalty shootout. So I'll just leave that for now. Tafari Moore, yeah, he's alright, but nothing special. Harness, for whatever reason, we may need it that long. And captains as well. Jack Phillips is the captain, don't forget, but he's not a key player, but he will start games and play some games. Mark Ellis is there, also David Stevens, and we don't really have too many others. David McGregor, actually, I find it hard to put someone as captain. Well, they're not captain, they're just backups, I suppose. So just because it's the first season doesn't mean they can't be. And a toe ball, will put him there as well. Anyone else? Maybe Craig Eastman. Maybe another one behind there because he's been here for a while now. And I think that shall be enough. And we'll go into the overview now. And you can see the start. This is the starting team. So we'll head into it. Lewis Foreman, actually, he's starting, that strong defensive midfielder. He's starting ahead of Craig Eastman's. And I'm excited to get into this first game of the season. It's been eagerly anticipated, I'll say, by myself. So let's head on into it right now. Okay, it's a free kick. Burke plays it to O'Driscoll. It's Foreman. There's a lot of new names here. A lot of new names. And now Demetriou. Can he get a cross in? That will be an interesting thing because we get a lot of crosses in if he's right-footed on the left side. If anything, Solomon. That was a good opportunity. Moore puts it in. Some good opportunities here. We've got a decent amount of possession. 56. Would like to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be a chance here. We had a couple of good opportunities from the previous highlight. Unfortunately, couldn't score, but was impressive. Tafari Moore has been our best performer, and there's a couple of 6.9s as well. Of course, the first season, first game of the season, you're always looking a bit shaky. A couple players nervous, so I'll try and fix that, I suppose. I'll just say I'm far from pleased with what we're seeing. Like, we haven't seen anything major, and how about that for a team talk at half-time? Let's go and change it in the second half. Let's go for a goal. So too much doesn't seem to be happening in this game. I don't mind personally. We've had a few games like that, then we sneak a goal. When you're playing away from home, that's not a terrible strategy, even though it's not, ideally my strategy. But something we can go with. Aaron O'Driscoll, Jack Stanley with that amazing passing. I know that's why I didn't start him. I knew his roll ability, everything like that is a bit lower. But, later in the game, maybe we could put an attacking midfielder, don't know. But that 18 passing, surely it should be utilised. So we'll use him as central midfielder there. Would he be better deep lying with that kind of passing? Deep lying playmaker. Would it be too much different? I think, his roll ability is slightly better. So maybe that could be his go. So that's the change. And a lot of our attacking players haven't really been doing too much. But we'll leave it for now. We'll leave it maybe for next 5-10 minutes and see if Jack Stanley can actually use that 18 passing. Oh, that would be a dream if, he does actually play that way. Like 18 passing, that's world class, that attribute right there. So I think we should make a couple more changes now. There's no chances really being created, but I'll be content. Like, I'm not going to go attacking now or anything like that, because we're defending really well. I don't want to concede a goal. That will be disastrous. Tafari Moore and Niall Mason. Again, to me, I really would like for Tafari Moore to be the best player. Like, just to be reassured that signing as a right back, so he can kind of, prove that. Because I feel, I really just want him to do well after letting Minahan go. I'll say that. So Simon Thompson going to come off. Janae Gordon. So he's got pretty good rating. So I think he can be good. He can be good as a target man. I have to think about that for a bit because he isn't tall. He's 180 centimeters. Do we take off Graham Burke or Solomon Otabo? I think we'll take him off and we'll bring on Marcus Maddison. Scored a decent amount of goals last season. We cannot forget that. But he was better on the other side, wasn't he? But again, the useful thing of just changing to inside forward is pretty useful. It's good to have players that are good with both roles as wingers. Obviously not going to be as good as each other in terms of the roles, but they're still fairly decent. Marcus Maddison, he's coming on looking happy. Maybe he can do something for us. Okay, they've got a corner. It's a Wusu. Come on, clear this, Stanley. Okay, we did. But they've got it back. It's a Wusu. Will it start with a cross? No. What a save from Foster. Shows his quality there. I feel maybe in the past we would have conceded, but Foster, you could really see from his attributes. He's well-rounded, really highly rated for a youngster, and who knows how good he's going to be. But when I scouted him, his potential ability wasn't the highest. It's like he doesn't have a high potential ability, but he starts as a decent player. He's one of those. I might go with a bit of a team talk here, but again, in a responsible way, just do tighten up. I'm not going to be demanding more from my team because these, I'm pretty happy with my conditions as well. Usually they're lower. Of course, Niall Mason's going down here. Just want to check out Niall Mason for a bit. Obviously, he's having a huge game, but his stamina and natural fitness isn't the best. If that's a downside of him, it's not horrendous, but it's not amazing. And it could be looking at Tafari Moore being the player of the match here. If we don't win, that's the next thing I'll be pretty happy about. Obviously, it's not like, maybe we could steal it late. That would be the dream. That would be a dream as well. So Demetriou finds Burke. It could happen. No, don't let them counter. Maybe I was getting too excited. Foreman! He shows his tackling ability. Gordon, play it through. Okay, Stanley, show your 18 passing. Oh, no. He committed. But I guess that means there's not going to be another goal. Well, there could be. No, the red card was the highlight. But interesting finish to the game with the red card. Too late to really do anything about it. Player of the match, Tafari Moore. I'm really happy with how he's done. Like I said, I'm just imagining people be mad. Well, not mad. Maybe a bit disappointed that I let Sam Minahan go. But obviously, Tafari Moore is a high quality fullback. And he showed that there as we pick up a point in our first game. And it's the first game of the season and it's a away game. Pretty happy to get the point there as we're getting match fitness into our players. So that's going to round up this big episode for you guys. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to drop a like. And if you're new to my videos, hit that subscribe button for daily Football Manager videos. And again, just take a look at everything, how this has set up, I suppose, for this upcoming season, especially what should I do with the money? I don't mean in terms of signing players. We're not going to sign players. Well, not majorly, not actually spending transfer budget. We don't really have that available anyway. The available wage budget is pretty low, but again, we're only, not available, the percentage, where we go to the finances, and 30% of transfer revenue is made available, but you can obviously see a big influx. And keep in mind, look, last season, we made a loss of 138k, which is not terrible. It wasn't a major loss if you look at it in that way. And even the profit/loss this month, the loss this month, 37k. So we're probably going to be losing money. We're paying a fair bit on the wages, I suppose, but you have to have the quality. So my opinion is I should wait to the end of the season and see how much money we have in our balance. And then if we're going to improve facilities or anything like that. But again, like I said, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the very next one.